back to my channel. My name is Anna and I'm a psychologist specialized in emotional binge eating. And today I want to discuss why maintaining relationships or even having a meaningful relationship with binge eating disorder is very hard to do. So I will also talk a little bit from my own experience, just to explain you on how many levels this is all playing out, because there are many layers to this. So first of all, if you are someone who is restricting, meaning going on very severe diets, and then as a consequence of that, you're binging, you are in a restrict binge cycle. So, you could be a couple of weeks eating super clean, exercising a lot, and then it's like a full-blown binge on the weekend that can go on for more days. Now, how does that make you feel? If you are like me, you are very focused during the clean eating part, and then a complete chaos and a complete mess when you go overboard with your food. So where does some partner or someone meaningful in your life fit in there? When you are restricting, there are actually some concrete logistic complications that come with it. Eating out is almost impossible because you cannot control what will be there on the menu, and if you're counting calories, it becomes a even more difficult task. If you're eating clean with nothing else, again, a much more difficult task. So going out, socializing, traveling, allowing someone to cook for you, ordering in, it becomes difficult. And in the beginning, you can get away with, I am this healthy chick who, exercises and I eat healthy, and you might appear as someone who is health driven. But sooner or later, this becomes a problem. And if the person doesn't understand you, you will be a difficult one to be around with. I mean, that's why I always suggest to people, speak up when you have an issue. But for the sake of argument in here, let's say that you are keeping your relationship with food to yourself. So in the restrictive phase, you have almost like a double life. You are exercising, before work. You are sneaking off, to go to the gym during the lunch hour. You are saying that maybe, you have a meeting, but actually you're in the gym. You don't allow people to come over to your house, or, you don't tell them where you are because you need to prepare your food properly, or you need to go your grocery shopping, or you need to do your exercise once again. It becomes a very isolating place, and there is very little room for anyone else in terms of intimate romantic relationships. On top of that, body dysmorphia that goes with constantly dieting and binging makes it even harder for you to be relaxed and enjoy the physical touch, the intimacy that comes with being in a relationship, which of course will have an impact on the relationship itself. Now, let's go back to the binging part. So this is the restriction part. Now you have the binging part, which for some people can be a day, it's a cheat meal, it's a cheat day, it's a cheat weekend, maybe a week or two of binge eating. And then you are faced with the situation of constantly being in a fear. Will I binge in front of my partner? Will he or she, judge me? Will I look like a disappointment, like a failure? If they would know how much I eat, they would leave me because this is disgusting what I'm doing. You have constantly this fear of slipping into binging, which is even worse than not eating and being health driven. So I have experienced those moments where you're sitting with someone, there's so much food in front of you, and you're worried what they will say if you eat as much as you would like to eat. So you wait for them to sleep or go somewhere and then you can eat. Again, you're having a sort of a double life. And if these two, restricting and binging, are constantly moving around, people around you cannot follow you anymore because they've seen you eat. That's when you were binging. But then all of a sudden you're going on a diet, a super restrictive one, and they're like, what the hell is going on here? So it's very difficult for you to have this life with someone and your life with your food without it impacting the relationship itself. And more deep than that, when you are a binge eater, you have a very low opinion of yourself, very low self-worth, very low self-confidence. You don't think you are worthy of a deep, meaningful relationship. So you are someone who is more often than not accepting poor relationships where you are actually not valued properly as a person. You are taking the breadcrumbs, if you will. And more often than not, people with binge eating disorder end up in very toxic, abusive relationships where they are not the leading lady, they're like, the side piece, because they don't think by themselves that they are worthy enough of being in a relationship. Their main thought is, if that person knew what I was doing, they would leave me. So I better take whatever is given. Otherwise, I will never find anyone who will be able to navigate between, such a restrictive lifestyle and then such an abundance of food all the time, binge eating and not caring, what goes into my mouth. So be very mindful. This is not just you. Your relationship to food affects your life, obviously physically and mentally, your work, your friendships, but also your private, let's say, romantic relationships.